Hi, this is Mariana Williams. I produce Long Beach searches for the greatest storyteller. Long Beach, California. People just like you and me come up and tell a story, something true that happened to us. It could be an adventure like Charlie's Angels. Maybe you have an unusual best friend, an interesting job. People send a few lines to me in advance. I pick the tales I think you'll enjoy most, and I invite them to come down and do it before a live audience 4 times a year. Once they're here, they sign in. There's 7 to 9 storytellers each time. A 5-minute tale. Our judges vote. It's exciting! Here's some of our winners. We hold the finals the last Sunday in December. At that time, I have celebrity storytellers. Come on down. We're keeping it real, 5 minutes at a time. Long Beach searches for the greatest storyteller. Hey, it might be you. Our next storyteller, Nick, is going to come in and sign in, please. He's starting off the second set. He's an author, and his story is You Can't Always Get What You Want. And the Rolling Stones, I think, did a pretty good job with that little thought. Also, Nick, before you come out, and as you're filling that out, I want to thank Paul Williams for coming out tonight. He's going to be a judge. He's not on the program because I just thought of it at 5 o'clock. I am so lucky I'm married to Paul Williams. He's a fabulous award-winning songwriter and Long Beach citizen who loves Long Beach like as we all do. So thank you for coming out, Paul, and casting your 5 points. All right, say hello to Nick.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for inviting me out to be here tonight.
Closer, Mike.
Thank you, Mariana. I take stage direction well, obviously. My name is Nick Yarris, and I come from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The story I'm about to tell you, I have to tell you the backstory before I get to that point. You see, I'm one of the very few human beings who has ever survived 8,057 days of solitary confinement on death row. I was accused and convicted of a murder and rape in 1982. I would spend the next 23 years in solitary confinement. The backstory that is behind all of that is that at the age of 7, I was attacked by a man in the neighborhood where I lived, and I was raped, and I was assaulted, and I developed a thing called aphasia. Now, it's interesting that one of the guests here speaking to me, talking to me about aphasia and what it is in your life, and it's the inability to articulate. My whole life in prison, all I wished for was some way on the day that they executed me that I would be able to articulate who I had become, because I was in a severe race with the state. The state wanted to kill me for something I hadn't done, and I wanted to erase me for something I was. See, in the aftermath of the attack as a young person, I became a drug addict. I became a lost person, just like so many. Drinking, shooting, meth, lost. Like, I was so disgusted that I hated who I was. And the sad thing was that there was no hope for me until I landed in that prison cell and I began educating myself. Because my whole wish was that on the day that they executed me, that I could articulate to them something so profound that they would know in that moment that I had already erased from the earth the person they were striving so hard to kill all along. I never knew that it would lead to my release. I didn't even know that I would survive this. All my things were geared towards making peace with myself. But then I was stricken with hepatitis C, and in 2002, sadly, I was so ill from the treatments afterwards that I asked to be executed. Judge James Giles didn't like that, and he asked instead that all remaining DNA testing be done. The moment that I decided to ask to die came about when I got my eyesight back. See, I was blinded for 3 days because of the toxins that they give you, the interferon, the drug-fighting, the cancer-fighting drugs they give you to try and suppress your system so deeply that it kills off the virus. Unfortunately, it blinded me. For 3 days, I sat in my cell and I thought about the 20 years preceding this moment, where I had educated myself and worked hard, I had people in there who looked up to me. I had esteem. It's a weird thing. I had people who loved me who were murderers. People who needed me to get on with their lives because they bonded with me. And I knew that I couldn't go on in agony for something I hadn't done when I'd worked so hard to erase everything about myself I hated. I forgave the man who attacked me. I forgave myself for all the times I didn't do right. I made myself as strong as I possibly could to face the moment that I would be executed, never knowing that's how I would be set free. And when I was proven innocent, they were so mortified by their own mistake, they were afraid to let me out. They said to me, "We can never release you into population before we set you free because we've crushed your hand, we've almost blinded you, we've beaten you senseless. How could we let you out of the cell without you wanting to kill one of us?" So I sat in an empty cell, and I started to dream of the life I would have for myself. I decided the value I would hold over whatever remaining parts of my life would be mine to measure. So I was released in 2004. I went back to Philadelphia, and everyone talked to me with deference. They thought surely anyone who had gone through this much torment could not speak. Well, I went out and I proved everyone wrong. I found the notion of love is the beacon that we all strive for. I moved out of the United States for 9 years. I was living in Lincolnshire for the last couple of years when my wife and I, who are just married 3 months ago, decided we would move, and we came here to Long Beach. We've been developing my first book, 7 Days to Live, which I brought copies for people if you wish, to share. We wanted to share this story because it's positivity. It's what we all hope for. The one thing that befalls all of us in life is that we're going to die. But I found out in this wonderful saying, vita non est, vivere se vivere, vita est. Life is merely more than staying alive. And I found that out in the most beautiful thing that could have been taken from me. It wasn't my life. It was what I wanted to have and hold of my life. I'm lucky to say that I survived the ordeal. I was proven innocent by DNA. And in the last 10 years, I've made every effort to be as normal as every one of you. Thank you.
Wow.